Hey guys, how's it going everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gents, welcome on back to a brand new Spider-Man Ps4 video here on the Blitzwinger YouTube channel. And today we're going to go on ahead and discuss something very exciting, but at the same time something that has been very controversial, and I would even say somewhat divisive on the people that have enjoyed Spider-Man Ps4. So let's first and foremost, I guess, preface this with the fact that everybody in general, everybody who I know and everybody whom I've talked to has really liked this game. But one of the very common things that I've heard is that they were very upset by the fact that there was a lack of Venom, or additionally to that, the fact that the black symbiote suit did not actually appear in the game. Now, a lot of people had their hopes high, including myself, for the fact that we were going to possibly get this suit unlocked in the one of the 3 DLC packages that are going to be coming out for the Spider-Man Ps4 video game, but it seems like that is not going to be the case. So I want to go on ahead and mention essentially an interview that was being done. I believe it was the game director Brian Inthahar. I think I said that correctly. But he was on the Kind of Funny Games Week. I think that was last week, I want to say. Maybe that was I think it was 2 weeks ago now. But essentially, when he was asked about the black symbiote suit, he said, and I quote, "I think something like that suit, the symbiote suit that is, deserves its day in the spotlight. I think just making it an unlockable suit wouldn't be doing it justice. It's one of the best stories for Spider-Man. I think it's a complex story, and I think it's a story that needs to be told, and it needs to be told the way Insomniac would tell it." So to me, that obviously indicates to the fact that that means that we are not going to be seeing that suit as just a part of the DLC, just because of the fact that he says it's one of the best stories for Spider-Man, and I think it's a complex story. Kind of implying that it's something that they wouldn't want to waste, quote unquote, on DLC. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think this means that the DLC is going to be trash, or I don't think that the DLC is going to be just like very, very, very crappy storylines in comparison to the regular campaign missions and everything like that. I think we're still gonna hopefully enjoy the DLC. I just think that this indicates that they have got ideas of what they're gonna do with Venom and the symbiote suit, and how much of a factor that will play in the next game. So to me, I will go on ahead and make a prediction, I guess, that the black suit will be available and probably will be the main element of Spider-Man 2, or whatever they call it. Maybe it'll be something along the lines of like Spider-Man and then colon some sort of like character or descriptor like Far From Home or Homecoming and so on and so forth. So it could be that. It would be interesting if it's like Spider-Man versus Venom, or maybe Spider-Man the symbiote story, or something along those lines. That could be quite interesting. Either way, let me know what you think. Would you have a title in mind for the sequel for Marvel's Spider-Man? Let me know down in the comment section below. But here's the other thing that I would go on ahead and mention. So to me, I think that if I had to make a prediction overall for the next Spider-Man game, it looks to me, based on the post-credit scene, which, by the way, I posted a video on the channel for that, so check that out if you haven't yet, discussing, of course, or showing, I should say, the post-credit scene. I will probably make like a whole prediction video going further, just from like an analysis standpoint. Do I think Miles Morales will play a factor, and so on and so forth. But the interesting thing that the end of Spider-Man Ps4 really sets up is kind of twofold, or maybe threefold, if that's even a thing. So first and foremost, we find out that, of course, Miles Morales has gained the powers to become Spider-Man as well, because he leaps onto the ceiling and there he is with Peter Parker. So they kind of embrace, and they both now know each other's secret, that each one of them is Spider-Man, which is super cool. Now, the other thing that we see is that in one of the storage units in Norman Osborn's condo, he's keeping his son alive, of course, and that's Harry Osborn. And we see a Venom-like kind of webbing that gets stuck to the glass as we see the game wrap up. And there is a big giant green glow over Norman Osborn. So, as well as we see kind of a teaser of like a weird helmet that he's working on. So to me, I really will go on ahead and predict that the next game will really focus on 2 villains, and maybe they will use a similar formula of where one villain is kind of the villain in the early half of the game, but then there's another one that's kind of brewing in the background, and that's your finale villain. So I think that that might be what they set up. I think it'd be interesting if Venom is the villain that you deal with throughout majority of the game, and then at the end it's revealed that Norman Osborn was the creator of Venom, which in this case will be Harry Osborn, and furthermore, Norman then takes up the mantle and becomes Green Goblin. So that way we get two big giant hitters from the Spider-Man mythos and rogues gallery to appear in the game and play a huge factor. And then, of course, you can add into that Sandman and a couple of the other villains like Mysterio that we did not see appear in the game. I mean, we know that they exist because there's lots of hints to them, whether it be through the backpack tokens that you collect or just the fact that Mysterio and Lizard and characters like that actually appear as costumed characters in the game. So you can go on ahead and make a prediction that obviously they exist in this world, and we see the little sand vial that Spider-Man has as a backpack token where he goes on ahead and references that that sand was collected from Sandman. So obviously there's lots and lots of pointers to other villains and other rogues existing. However, we don't know that Venom exists. There is some teasers and there is some kind of wink wink nudge nudge, but it's definitely interesting to see whether or not Venom will be the main story element that they focus on in the sequel to Spider-Man Ps4. So at this point in time, I know that a lot of people could still make the argument that, like, hey, maybe one of the DLC pieces will feature the Spider-Man symbiote suit, or maybe it's the Venom storyline. I doubt it. I think they're going to go on ahead and save that, and I think that that will be the sequel that they are going to be working on, which honestly, I think is probably going to end up coming out on the PlayStation 5, because the rumor is that next year at 2019's E3 is when we're going to receive news about and the announcement of the PlayStation 5. So that will probably be one of the launch games on the PlayStation 5, is the sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man, which will be Spider-Man Ps4, or sorry, PS5. Maybe that's what they'll call it. Spider-Man PS5. There you go. Why not? Let's just release one for every console generation, even though that would be terrible, because honestly, we want to see more of them. Nevertheless, ladies and gents, let me know what you guys think. Do you think the symbiote suit should have appeared as part of the original roster of characters that we see in the game currently? There are, I think, 28 suits in the game, which is pretty crazy already. Like, I know people complain about that, but I'm like, that's a lot of costumes. So it's not like there's no costumes in the game. So there are 28 suits already in the game. Do you think the symbiote suit needed to be one of them? Or are you okay with them saving that suit and saving the entire storyline around that suit for the next game? Because you could definitely make the argument like, hey, Spider-Man 2099 is a very important outfit as well and has a huge amount of storyline elements to it and everything like that. So why didn't they save that suit by that logic, right? And told an interesting story of the 2099 character. So I definitely understand the point that you could make here, that, hey, it's just a suit included in there because it'd be fun to go on ahead and use it, and you don't have to be kind of I guess jaded by the fact that there's no story element to that suit. To me, I see both points of view. I think that it's interesting that they are holding back some things, because it's almost like now we're going to build up this anticipation of like what's next, because had they just given us everything right away in the first game, then there's kind of almost nothing to look forward to. So I really do like that they've teased a lot of things, whether it be characters like Mysterio, Sandman, and so on and so forth, and then of course set up some big characters to not even be revealed yet, like Venom and Green Goblin. So either way, thank you guys so very much for watching. I will hopefully get you guys here on the next one. Peace out. I'll see you all later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.